welcome back to Wonders and Arts. Today we have another box opening. This is SketchBox. This is July SketchBox, which just came today. My local post office is amazing and gets things to me very quickly. So to start with, we have this art on the outside, which you can see who it is by there. And I know that Dark Star Creations has a box opening video where she did this on YouTube recently. So you should be able to watch her making this amazing art. And so let's see what we have in the box. There we go. If I can get it open. Right. Oh, it looks like it's pretty full today. Let's see. We have a magenta Derwent Chromaflow pencil. Lighting is bad today, and I'm not sure why. Let's see. We have a Staedtler blender pencil. That is very cool. I've been doing a lot of pencil stuff lately, so that'll be fun. This is a Caran d'Ache Luminance pencil. That is awesome. And we have a sticker. Very cool. Love the stickers. We have a pencil sharpener. That's awesome. Always need a pencil sharpener. We have, ooh, that is lovely. Postcard, but Angelita Martinez, and there is the info if you'd like to check that out. There is our menu. Let's see what we got here. SketchBox signature colored pencils. Ooh, nice. A whole little tube of colored pencils. How cool is that? Let's see. This is another Derwent Chromaflow, this one in blush pink. And then we have a Derwent pencil eraser. Very cool, with a little brush on the end. And I'm sorry, I forgot to turn the notifications off on my phone. So there are lots of dings going on. Hopefully that will stop. But yeah, this reminds me of the old typewriter erasers that had a little brush on them. way, way, way back in the day. And toned mystical blue and industrial gray Rembrandt SketchBox exclusive 15% cotton paper. Very cool. I liked toned paper, so that is pretty awesome. Oh, and we got another pencil. This another Caran d'Ache Luminance pencil. And yep. Very cool. All right, well, let me get situated and I can test some of these things. Okay, I am back and we are going to try out some of these pencils. I'm looking at the menu here, and I'll refer back to that if I need to. But let's start with the Caran d'Ache Luminance pencils. We have, let's see, we have anthraquinone, what is it, carmine. That's got to be this red. And I'm sure I said that wrong, so I apologize. And this one is Herculaneum red, which is like, I guess it's kind of a terracotta color. Kind of a blushy, peachy color. So let's try these out. We'll start with the carmine. And this is just a Canson XL Mixed Media book that I'm using here. I use that for swatching all of my pencils right now, so. All right, so I mean, these are good. They're wax-based pencil. Pretty smooth. And layer them up. All right, and let's try this blender, this Staedtler blender. It's supposed to be a colorless blender. That is pretty good. Smooths it right out there. Let's try it with the red. I'm putting quite a lot of pressure on here. And I don't feel like this is all smoothing out as well as my Prismacolors do, but it's still quite good. Let's try this eraser thing. See if it actually does anything. Oh, that's better than I expected. With a little brush. That is quite nice. Didn't get it completely gone, but I wouldn't really expect it to, being colored pencils. So let's try next. We have the Derwent Chroma Flow, and the thing says that they are brand new, super vibrant, easily blendable, smooth and creamy application. These are supposed to be $2.08 a piece. The Luminance ones say they list for $5.40 a piece, so these Luminance ones are a much more expensive pencil. And in fact, the only other Luminance pencil I have actually is a white one that I got ages ago to test out. So let's try these out. Oh, I guess I should put the names down. All right, this one is Blush Pink. It's a very pretty coral color. Kind of reminds me a little bit of that pastel we got a few months ago. And then this one is Magenta. Oh, and it's breaking. It feels like it's broken deep inside of here, so we'll see how long that holds out before it falls out. I know a lot of people have problems with Prismacolors breaking. I have not actually had that issue, but I think this is what the Prismacolors are supposed to do, is you know, break within the thing. So, and the smoothing works, blending pencil works quite well with that. So that is good. And what did I do with the eraser? There's the eraser. All right, and now let's try the SketchBox Signature pencils. There are 12 of these, and they say that the set of 12 retails for $19.99, and they are supposed to have, they're supposed to blend easily and be scratch-free. So I'm gonna try these out. See what we have. Let's see. They just say SketchBox Signature on them. They're plain gray, round pencil. They have color on the end. Let's see how well the colors match. Reasonably close, I guess. Not dead on, but I know it's really hard to match pigments with paint. Okay, so these seem to be pretty good pencils. I did find this green one was a little weird, but I think maybe a sharpening might help it. In fact, it's doing a little better now. so maybe it just needed to be used a little bit. So yeah, so I think right now I'm going to find some toned paper. I don't want to use the paper they sent to test it. I would rather test it on something else and then go back to that. So we will try them out on some toned paper and see how they do. Okay, so I have some Strathmore toned gray mixed media paper. So I'm gonna try, just do a quick test with these on that. See how they do. This is the Derwent ChromaFlow, and it is very good, actually. I like that a lot. I might have to look into those. Hopefully they're not ungodly expensive. $2.08 a piece. That doesn't sound terrible comparatively. All right, so those are both quite good. Then we have the Luminance ones, which are much more expensive. $5.40 a piece is what they're supposed to retail for. And this is the peachy color. All right, I'm sure I will speed this bit up too, so you can test them all out. Okay, and one thing I notice about this set that they have sent, the SketchBox signature set, you might notice there's not a red and no purple or pink. There's this kind of reddish orange color. That's the closest thing to red they are. They're more earthy colors, which I assume is why they included this magenta and carmine and the blush pink and the other to kind of complete a more usable set. The white from this SketchBox signature set is actually better than I expected on the toned paper. And I'm gonna try compare it against the Luminance white. Luminance white's a little bit more opaque, a little brighter, a little darker. This one's a little transparent, the SketchBox signature, and where is my, there we are. And then of course we'll test against the Prismacolor white, which is my go-to for a white pencil, is always the Prismacolor. You can see that it is much more opaque and brighter. So this is the Prisma. This one is the Luminance, and then this one is the SketchBox. And you can definitely see the difference. Prisma, Luminance, and the SketchBox. So you can kind of see the difference there. It's pretty clear. So I would say no matter what kind of pencils you prefer, if you need a bright white, go with the Prismacolor. You can get them individually. They're not terribly expensive, and they're nice and opaque. But since the Luminance white and the Prisma white did not come with the set, I am not going to use them today. I just wanted to test them out and see how they did on in comparison. So there we go, and let's see, we got the blender pencil, which just blends. I typically use either the colorless Prismacolor blender or just a white Prismacolor, depending on what I'm blending. But this works decent, and it is colorless on top of the other paper. By itself, it seems to have a little bit of a white tone to it, but it's probably just the binder. Yeah, so, and of course, the eraser with a little brush, which is always good. So, okay, I am going to figure out what I can try to draw with these colors and see what we come up with. Okay, so this has turned out to be a very long one, so I probably won't talk through the entire thing. But I have been wanting to work more on drawing faces particularly, so I decided to do a face. In the end, I think it would have looked better on toned tan paper rather than this kind of bluish color. But yeah, this is the stock from the SketchBox, so that's what I used. So I started out just sketching in regular graphite pencil very lightly, the drawing of the face, and I used a reference photo from Unsplash. And it did have lots of kind of bluish undertones and highlights to it, so I thought that that would work quite well with this stock. So basically, after I got the basic sketch in, I just kept going back and forth. I like using tone paper, but I'm not super experienced using tone paper, so there were a couple places where I was trying to figure out exactly how to do what I needed to do. But I went in with the black and got some of the darks in, and then went in with the peachy color and got some of the peachy parts in, and then went in with the brown to kind of shade some of the shaded parts, which I also did with the gray. And then later on I went in with the blue as well. Here I decided to kind of go over all the highlights with the white to try to get the brighter parts of the skin in. I really didn't want to go very heavy and cover up the entire paper with colored pencil very heavily. I was kind of thinking of this one as more of a sketch, but the girl had a black jacket on that was kind of sitting open around her arm, so that's that. And then I worked on getting the eye in and the shading around the eye. That second eye was a little bit of a problem, but later on I think I finally got it more or less where it needed to be. I used the eraser that came with the set several times, and it worked out very well for erasing little fine spots. It worked well on the paper, and it worked well with the pencils, which was quite nice, because there was a good bit of adjusting that I ended up doing here and there. So here I am going in and just working on that eye, which I think I later ended up erasing everything I'd done and starting over on the eye. She had very dark hair, which was black and had some almost blue highlights. You can see I used the sharpener there too. So I used a navy blue along with the black in her hair to get some of the shading. And I was mostly just trying to get the shape of the hair in. I didn't actually finish all around. I was more focused on the face and getting the shapes and positions right in the face. Like I said, I'm considering this one a sketch, not a finished piece. But in the end, I was pretty pleased with how it turned out. There I am erasing more of that eyeball. So I ended up doing more with the blue, more shading. I used the gray, the blue, the brown, a little bit of the orange, two of the blues actually, the navy blue and then the slightly lighter blue. I used a lot of the white. And then on the lips, obviously I used the magenta and the carmine. And there, I will probably put that clip in at the end so you can see that both of those broke, actually. Both of the chroma colors broke and the leads fell out. But they sharpened well. Everything sharpened well. I used the sharpener several times. The ones that came with the SketchBox set did need to be sharpened. They came kind of blunt on the end, and so they did much better after I sharpened them. And sharpening some more, sharpening everything. So yeah, I was pretty pleased with how this turned out. I just was working on getting the shapes all right. I did a lot of kind of going over the nose over and over and going over the eyes over and over, but eventually I got them to where they looked decent, in my opinion. So here, I'll let you watch the rest of it, and then I will come back at the end and show you the finished piece. So we are finished, or as much as I'm going to do today anyway. I decided to try and work on a face. I've been trying to improve my faces. I think that these worked pretty well. This paper is pretty nice. These SketchBox pencils were pretty good. I kind of wished a few times I was using my Prismacolors, but that's probably just because I'm used to them. These Caran d'Ache ones, the Luminance pencils, they of course were good as expected. These Derwent ChromaFlow pencils, I thought they worked nicely, but they both had the leads break off and fall out, which is a complaint I know people have of Prismacolors sometimes. They don't necessarily do great in shipping. And then when you sharpen them, the leads fall out. So these are apparently a new thing, so maybe Derwent will work on that issue, I hope. But otherwise, I thought they were really nice and I liked them. I would definitely like to try more of these. But yeah, so those were good. The white, of course, a little bit weak on the sketchbook pencil white. I might eventually, if I finish this at some point later, go back and work on it a little more, maybe with more variety of pencils. This blender did actually show up on the toned paper, so I wasn't super thrilled with that, but I ended up not using it very much anyway. The skin tones could be blended a bit more, but oh well. I mostly just used it on the lips, I think. So yeah, this eraser was quite helpful. I used that quite a few times, trying to get everything where it belonged. Liked that. Like the little soft brush on the end to brush off the eraser crumbs, which is nice. That'll be especially good for watercolor, I think, because then you're not getting your oils from your hands on your watercolor paper, which would be good. I sharpened these quite a bit. They worked well sharpened. They held a point pretty well. This sharpener is what I used that came with the box, and it, of course, worked perfectly. Here you can see those Derwent ChromaColors, the leads that fell out. Yeah, not cool. So hopefully that was just something that happened in shipping and not a endemic problem, but I guess we'll find out in the future. So yeah, all in all, I am pretty pleased with these pencils. I love colored pencils and I love toned papers, so it was really fun to try this out. And I may come back and actually finish the sketch a little bit more sometime. But thank you for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe. I expect to have a Palettefull Packs opening within the next couple weeks. I haven't gotten a shipping notification, but hopefully it'll be soon. And we've also got other videos. We made a fountain with my sister Janet, which is a very easy container fountain to make. So if you're interested in that, I should get that up in the next week or two. And we've done a little bit of traveling, and I find the travel videos have been very long and difficult to edit. So we're still working on that issue, but eventually we'll have some traveling videos up as well. But for now, art. Here's my final sketch so far for SketchBox July 2021. Thank you very much for watching. See you next time.